Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's been a while. It's been over a month since Castle Nathria came out. Thought it'd be fun to take a look at some HS replay numbers and take a look at what the worst cards have been so far for Murder Castle Nathria. Like, what were they thinking with these cards? They're so bad. And while we kind of already know what all the broken stuff is, honestly, I just thought it'd be a lot of fun. Go through this list and see what is just absolutely terrible. And also a friendly reminder, we are only just under 200 subscribers away from 58,000. We're on the road to 60K. If you feel like I've earned your subscription, hit that sub button. If we hit 58,000 subscribers, we're gonna have a bigger and better giveaway than the ones we've had in the past. And well, those are $300 a pack. So do the math, it'll be better. Hit that sub button and well, let's take a look at what the very worst cards have been so far from Murder Castle Nathria. So my data sample for all of this is basically since the last major balance patch 24.03, it's through Diamond through Legend, and we're gonna use deck win rate as our qualifier as to what the worst cards have been. Let's take a look starting off at number 10. And at number 10, we have a card that was buffed in the last patch. That's right, this card is buffed and is still the 10th worst performing card from the latest expansion in promotion. It is in 0.6% of decks, has a 37.9% deck win rate, and has been played 14,000 times, by far the most on this list because, well, it was buffed, people tried it, and well, that whole Duel Paladin deck is just bad, even though it gives the Silver Hand Recruit +3/+3 and Taunt for just 1 mana. It turns out you can make a card pretty busted. It doesn't matter if there's only like 3 Duel Paladin cards that are worth running, and yeah, that deck is just absolutely not cutting it, but it's only number 10. At number 9, we have another fringe kind of combo card for Demon Hunter here, Sinful Brand. 1 mana spell, you brand an enemy minion. Whenever it takes damage, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. This is in 0.02% of decks, as a deck win rate of 37.3%, and has been played all of 550 times. Just why are you playing this card, right? There's not a lot of great ways of doing incremental damage, and it's got to rely on hitting something big. It's just very clunky, right? Like, it has to hit an enemy minion. You can't even set up your own thing to try and hit. Penflinger is not in the game anymore either, so the card itself just not very good and just doesn't really make sense in any Demon Hunter archetype, which is like what, relics and death rattle and aggro. What are you doing with Sinful Brand in there? It just hasn't worked out whatsoever. At number 8 is another card that hasn't worked out. It costs 8 mana too, so it like matches up pretty well here in Criminal lineup. It is in 0.06% of decks, has a 36.3% deck win rate, and has been played all of 510 times. Like, what are you playing this card in? It's 8 mana. You get to summon, you know, choose a friendly minion, summon 3 copies of it, and then overload 2. I feel like, why even bother with the overload part? Like, it's not even necessary. But yeah, like, what are you copying? What is so great? Like, the only good target, or I guess playable targets, like Gigantotem. And again, like, you just don't care about that. It's slow. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But I will note, whatever decks it is in, the played win rate percentage on this card is actually 57.1%. So when this card is played, it's game winning, but when it's in your deck, it's kind of game losing at the same time. So yeah, this card, rather criminal in how bad it is. Oh no, we're not going down this road again. Anyways, number 7, we have an infused card, our first infused card on the list. Will it be the last? No, it won't. We have Stoneborn Accuser, 5 mana 5/5 neutral minion, infuse 5, gain battle cry, deal 5 damage. So without the infuse, this is literally a 5 mana 5/5. Is a 0.04% of decks, 35.8% deck win rate, played 840 times. I'm surprised this card has seen more play than Criminal lineup in Sinful Brand. I wonder if that's just literally like infused achievement hunting going on here. But yeah, the card, like, it's just, there's just a million better options. You have to infuse this for it to be good, and it just deals 5 for 5, which again isn't bad, but in today's Hearthstone, like, you just don't care. Even in Arena where Infuse is pretty good, this isn't like an auto pick. This isn't a top tier card. It's good, but it's not even top tier there. So yeah, the card struggling pretty heavily. And now at number 6, before we get to the top 5, we have a card that just on paper doesn't look that bad. It's Sin Runner, 5 mana, 6/5 beast, neutral minion, death rattle, destroy a random enemy minion. It's in 0.1% of decks, has a deck win rate of 35.3%, and played 2,200 times. There's achievement for this one, so probably boosts the play rate on it, I would imagine. But it can also play it like a death rattle demon hunter. There are some synergies for this card, but not enough that it's like ever game winning, because just like killing one random minion just doesn't matter. It is aggressively statted, like it's not the worst card, but I think like 3 years ago, this card might be playable in like Katrina, like Death Rattle Hunter, like that old deck, maybe, but even then probably not. And it just, yeah, you got no guardian animals to cheat it out either. Like maybe the old druid decks would run it, but again, probably not. It's just not quite good enough, and I'm just surprised that the number is that low on it. But yeah, Sin Runner, just not really that solid. At number 5 though, we start off with a card that I thought actually might have a shot in like big druid decks, and that's Party Crasher, the 8 mana 7/9 neutral epic. Notice there's a lot of neutrals on this list, like pretty much all of them. It's pretty crazy how bad some of these neutrals are, but then again, the top cards are also, it's weird. It's weird. Anyways, Party Crasher, 8 mana 7/9, choose an enemy minion, throw a random minion from your hand at it. So like you play a bunch of big stuff and you huck something, and it's kind of cool, but it's only in 0.04% of decks, 33.9% deck win rate, and played only 740 times. There's just better stuff to do. Like if you're playing that big druid stuff, like the Devourer, like eating minions, that's just better. You don't have to rely on, first, you don't have to throw like a Denathrius. Basically, every deck runs Denathrius, and why do you want to throw Denathrius? Like, Party Crasher just has almost anti-synergy with the most busted cards of this expansion, right? It just doesn't make sense with the current card pool, and it just shows in its numbers. And yeah, number 5, early making the cut. At number 4, we have our last infused card, so only two on the list, but this is it's one that really sucks. This is a 7 mana 2/2 Sin Fueled Golem, infuse 3, gain stats equal to the attack of the minions that infuse this. So yeah, it's just bad. Like you can play high attack stuff and make it big, but 0.03% of decks, 33.2% deck win rate, and played all of 320 times. It's just a bunch of stats. At the end of the day, it's a bunch of stats. It doesn't have taunt, it doesn't have rush, and in today's Hearthstone, stats don't do it unless you're playing rogue, and even those stats either draw an infinite amount of cards with Edwin or have stealth and are hard to interact with. This does neither, and it costs 7 mana. It is just a really, really bad card. In number 3, we have the Dinner Performer, 3 mana 2/3 neutral minion. Battle Cry, summon a random minion from your deck that you can afford to play, and it is in 0.07% of decks, has a deck win rate of 31.1%, and played 1,700 times. Again, any card that has an achievement tied to it, it's played more than the other cards. And yes, there's an achievement for this one, and from playing this card, it sucks. Like, you're paying 3 mana for a 2/3, and then you cheat out a minion, and it's totally random, and it's really hard to build around to abuse it. It just doesn't work. It's not a very good card. Even in Arena, I've seen a lot of people pick it. It seems to have a high tier score, but it always just pulls like a crappy 1-drop, and that's just, I guess it's okay, but at the end of the day, it's just kind of okay in Arena, and if it's just okay in Arena, it's really bad on Ladder. And yeah, the card is not doing so hot. At number 2, we have a card that I really think is cool. It's a cool design card, but it sucks, and we all kind of figured it would suck. Creepy Painting. This is a 3 mana neutral minion. It's got a 0/6 tag stat line, so just bad, but after another minion dies, friendly or enemy, become a copy of it. So you can't really set that up that well. It's in 0.06% of decks, 27.5% deck win rate, atrocious, and only played 1,200 times. But again, above the others, because there's an achievement for this one. And yeah, you just can't really manipulate it. You can't really set it up. Maybe you can hide it behind the taunt, but they could just kill off one of their tokens or ping one of your tokens or what. It's just not a good card. It's not. The design's just really sweet. I think it's flavorful, but at the end of the day, this card is just creepy, but not really effective. And at number 1, we have a card that's actually pretty good in Wild. This card sees some meta play in Wild, but there's 0 support for it in Standard, which makes it the worst card by a lot. And it is Tome Tampering, the Warlock spell, 3 mana epic. Shuffle 1 cost copies of cards in your hand into your deck, then you discard your hand. And well, there's no way to refuel with discard in in standard. There's nothing. In wild, you have Malchezaar's Imp, you have the Hand of Gul'dan. Those are just incredible ways of reloading, and even there, where I thought it might break the game, it doesn't really make the cut. And the numbers on this are amazing. It is in 0.010% of decks. It has an 18. This is the lowest I think we've ever had when we've done this. 18.1% deck win rate and play 380 times. It is a card with an absolutely huge downside with no real payoff right now and no way to abuse it. Like, there's just no way in standard to abuse it. In wild, you can do stuff. Standard, unplayable garbage, and I think this is the lowest win rate card I've seen, period, since I've started doing this. So there's the stats on what the worst performing cards are so far, and hopefully hear about that balance patch pretty soon. We're kind of waiting for it. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. Stay salty, my friends.